Hello, this is wmpyr here with another just a video featuring this awesome Armada Megatron from Generations. Yeah, to be honest, I haven't been able to really put him down since I got him. It's easily the best Transformer that I have ever owned in my entire life, and yeah, I'm very impressed with it, very satisfied with it, and just want to have more of a discussion about this guy. So anyway, I think the big question that people are probably going to have to ask themselves if they are interested in this figure at all is which version do I get? Because there is an exact same sculpt version, but it's the G1 Megatron instead of the Armada Megatron. Basically, basically the same. It's just the color scheme is different and the head sculpt is different and some other very minor smaller things, but other than that, pretty much the same figure. And for me, it was a no-brainer. I like the Armada Megatron. I like the toy line Armada. I also like the Energon that went right after. The TV show, yes, I understand the criticism. It was basically like a marketing ploy for their toys, and that sucks. I agree, but it was still okay. It was still okay. That aspect really hurts it for sure, and some people say that some of the toys were horrible. That could be maybe just because maybe Armada was a huge line that they produced. Did it have more toys than normal in that line compared to the other Transformers line? If so, then that only makes sense. You might have more that are crappy, but you're also going to have more that are better too, I would think, just because there's more. But anyway, yeah, like I said, for me, the Armada Megatron, it was because I like Armada. It was no problem. I really, some people, basically it's a love or hate. Either you love or hate Armada. But for me, I like Megatron, the character, especially from the comic books. And then seeing the Armada Megatron, to me, is just kind of like, I could definitely see him as an evolved version of the original Megatron. So I have no problem making that connection. Whereas for some people, they like the G1 Megatron, and then they see the Armada Megatron, and they go, what happened here? But for me, I could definitely see that this is him in combat mode. This is him, like really ready for combat. So for me, it's not a problem, and I have also no problem admitting that the G1 version of this, the color scheme is incredible. So in robot form, to see him like in this all silver with some red just on like the inside of the arms and stuff, just where you could see that, and the color contrast between the silver and red, it really pops. It looks really awesome. And then the tank mode, when you put them side by side, I don't have the G1 version, but when I've seen pictures and videos of it, the G1 version, it's just more blingy, so it definitely catches your eye more. I have no problem admitting that. It's just, for me, the robot mode, I gotta go with this one without a doubt. And also for me, the G1 version just kind of seems like it's trying so hard to be the G1 version, but it's trying so hard to be something that it's not, because if you're making it that close to the G1 version, the robot looks really good, but then it does turn into the tank. And for me, that's just a bummer. So I definitely went with this one, which is, the Armada version. He does turn into a tank, so this works for me. But that might be a plus for you. You might say, hey, well, that's like the first Megatron that we get that in robot form, he's the G1 Megatron, but he turns into a really good tank. So that might be a plus for some other people, But for me, it was a negative. And anyway, like I said, this Armada version is killer cool for me personally. So I went with this, and I have no regrets. If I had to do it again, I would pick this version for sure. The only question for me is not really between which one, G1 or Armada, but the question is actually original Armada versus this version. That's the question that I have. I did not pick up the original Armada back in the day just because I didn't like his robot form. I really didn't. It was a little too much for me to have to swallow, basically. His tank form, I thought, looked pretty good. It was interesting that what everyone's calling the H tank, because it's shaped like the letter H. I got no problem with that. In fact, I think it's kind of cool. It makes it unique. Whereas to this guy, he transforms into a tank that's pretty common looking, should I say. He almost looks like it might be a real tank, like the Abrams tank, you know, maybe something like that. He looks believable, but I think that was the whole purpose of this guy, was to make him realistic looking. The Armada, the original Armada Megatron, that tank is a little bit more fantasy, especially with the head part sticking out, with the claw things, so massive. And the coolest part, I mean, that was like, oh, okay, you know, it's the head sticking out, so that was kind of a bummer. Are they just being lazy? But in tank mode, you got this crazy mandibles on there, and it was like, that's kind of cool. That really is. It would have been really awesome, but part of it is, were they just lazy? They didn't know what to do with the head, so they just did that. So that's a little bit of the negative. But the really cool thing is all the gimmicks on that one. So that one is all about the gimmicks. Lots of fun gimmicks. I mean, it's like a freaking playset with all the fun stuff that you could do with it. This one right here is now we're enter the world of adult toy collectors. So now everything is like, I mean, his articulation is, for me, is awesome. This, I mean, people are complaining a little bit about the shoulders and stuff. And maybe even a little bit about the feet and stuff. I think it's just nitpicking, man. For me, his articulation is freaking fantastic. The detail, the quality of the plastic. I mean, this is, even the box is made for an adult toy collector, where you could put him in the box, display, take him in and out of the box, no problem at all. Super sweet. Definitely feels like a higher grade display figure rather than a toy. I definitely feel that. Yet, I still feel like they kept a little bit of gimmicks just for a little bit of that kid inside of you, where he does have the spring-fired weapon right here. Let me say, maybe it's because I come from Imagine X, though, that the spring feels super weak. But, you know, maybe that's because just me. But the light piping, another very nice gimmick, very cool gimmick. And then right here is, as you can see, I have my Minicons attached onto him. Yeah, they kept the spirit of the Armada right there, of the Armada toy line. So very, very satisfying for me. Very, very satisfying. Even though he doesn't have the lights and sounds, doesn't have the... Did the original have lights and sounds? I think maybe he only had sounds. I'm not sure. I never had it. So, yeah, and all the other gimmicks. I wish they had right here or on the side of the leg, if he had that, like just a panel that would open and close like Jaws, like a trap door, to give homage to the original version. That would have been sweet. But the guy that designed this, it's almost like he hated the Armada version and said, look, we're going to take this in a completely different direction. Yes, it's the Armada Megatron, but man, I'm going to take away all those crazy gimmicks. He's all about too much about the gimmicks and not enough quality. So, and we're going to, you know, reduce the size of the claws on his head. I really like how they did that, because now it looks really good on him. Before it was a little too big, and the shoulder parts, you know, just in robot form, it just looked a little silly to me, a little too much. I don't mind that he didn't really have too much articulation in the lower body. I didn't mind that at all. But yeah, it's just overall the way he looked. So this one, not only does he look good in robot form and of course tank form, but now he's also incredibly articulate as well. The poses you can put him in is incredible. Tank form, yeah, a little bit boring, should I say. But when you add some of these mini-cons on there, to me, makes up for it. Takes me back to those days. Very, very cool stuff. So, you know, just wondering, which one do you guys prefer? Do you guys prefer this version? Do you like this? Or do you prefer the Armada version? So, you know, just if you could comment below, that'd be great. Give me your opinions on it. And anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and take care, folks.